and by the second
Listen,
or the
people,
third
what's
day, you would
going
think
on
that
in
I
the
had
game
been in that
today?
hotel for 8 years.
What we've been into? It's been happening for a while
check
now.
in
So
and they would come in and I'd be the one going, you have to try this and this. It's
it's
wonderful.
coming from your
Yes.
Genesis
So
chapter
I was
6
doing
series
all this in
or
the
Genesis
dream,
3
but
series.
in real life, God has told me that is how people die. So that is
This is
not
Electra,
generally how I move in this world.
big
You
prophet.
mind your business,
So
and I will
you want to look
surely
her up,
mind
you can look her
mine.
this up. You
And
probably heard her
so,
voice before.
I would recommend this and recommend that. And by the second day,
It's
a
very
lady came up
important
to
you
me and she was
understand
saying,
the
"Oh,
type of
hello,"
world you're
and
living
she
in
took
now.
her breakfast, and we sat at the same table.
Women
we were
out here,
talking, and
I'm going around with
in
no
a very
covering.
short time, I think by the lunchtime, when I saw this woman again, she began to ask me these very pointed questions about myself, very personal things. And I quickly snapped up a defense and I rebuked her. And I said, "Why are you asking me these questions?" Because I'm thinking, are you with these letter agencies? Who are you? And so I said, "Why are you asking me these very personal questions? I do not know you." And I raised my voice in the dining hall and I took my food and I marched away from this woman and I sat at another table and I glared at her to let her know, you are not welcome around me anymore. And by nightfall, I didn't see this woman ever again. So it appeared that she checked out of the hotel just as suddenly as she had appeared, she disappeared. But then another man checked in, and what a sweetheart, an older man. You know, you see him at the checkout desk
This
asking,
is where we at, people.
I'd like to go for a walk, but
I like to say
which
it's
of
a
the
nice.
nature trails. And I was there like, oh, hello.
You got to deal with the Antichrist, and
I
you got to deal with everything with the Antichrist, and all the devil
but this one has a nicer
seeds.
view, but don't try this third one. It's very tough.
That's where we at.
And so he just said, "Oh, thank you, dear." And then I would.
I mean, out here, yeah, I can see him. You can't see him. You know, the spiritual realm.
I just thought, this dear
it's
old
more,
man, and he was just so sweet and kind.
more than physical
And
realm.
I think it was dinner.
A lot of stuff is going physical, though.
He came and he shared a space with me, and we were talking. And by this time, I'd been there for about 6 or 7 days now. Shared a space with me, and we were talking. And as we were talking, reality glitched. So I'm not saying that the whole reality of the whole world glitched. No. This man was making his own reality. He was bending the reality around him. He was not an old man. He was literally bending the air around him, and it created old man shape, old man voice, old man kindness. This thing was a 12-foot working out bodybuilder lizard being. Huge scales, like big scales.
You know, I know this is true. The Lord gave me a vision like this before.
Big.
This sucker's about 8 foot tall.
I've never seen these other.
It's like the damn movie. That movie,
Gila monsters and
Alien,
these other horn lizards,
the Predator.
Attacking looking lizards. I've never seen one of those in real life. I've only seen these small.
This is where you at. This is not science fiction. This is life now.
So to see, God just had mercy on me to see that thing, and this is now where spiritual gift, right? Galatians 5, constantly talking about it on this channel. People always ask, how will we fight them? How good are you at just having the basics in your life? How is your kindness? How is your endurance? How is your self-control? Now I'm sitting and the old man suffers a crack in his reality because Jesus is good. And Jesus thinks, well, look at this one doing everything I have told her not to do. Crack in that man's reality, and I saw that lizard with its yellow up and down snaky eyes gazing at me with so much interest, the way a cobra looks at the white mice that you put in the cobra cage, and it's thinking, let me observe you before I eat you. That is what that thing was doing behind that old man cloud. And I said, I think that I've left my room unlocked. So unlike me. I will be right back. And the old man smiled and said, of course, dear. And I left. But the problem with humanity is that when we are scared, composure can help, but you cannot stop your body's pheromones. And that fear must have told that thing she's onto me somehow, even though her face has not shown it. I went out the dining hall, and the minute I was out of sight of that glass door, I began to sprint down this hallway. Somehow with God, it's always a hallway. And I'm running in the hallway. I'm repenting, because that's the first thing. You're not going to start blaming God for your own lack of wisdom. I am repenting. You told me not to talk to people. You told me not to engage with those I don't know. You told me not everybody is a person. Now here I am with old man,
Better listen, young women.
12-foot bodybuilder.
Amen. Better listen to me.
Deliver me from this. I am looking for a bellboy, looking for a porter, looking
been the Most High Yah.
running.
Trust the Most High Yah. He'll live in your hand.
Completely forgets
That's what we made for.
and starts coming down the hallway after me. In its
Do all
youth,
things.
the tail
Trust in the
of
Most
this
High
thing
Yah.
is like the body
Christ.
of an alligator by itself. Just the tail alone.
In my dream, when he came at me, Most High already had it. He couldn't even move. The thing couldn't even move. So
I get a vision of
I
the
seen how
lady
big
who
he was.
left
He
a
was
few
huge.
days ago. Vision projects here as I'm running with the thing behind
it's like the
me.
thing
What
V.
do I see in
V.
the vision?
You know,
I
movie,
see that
TV
the
series
woman
V.
was
Check into it.
nothing
This is what you're
human.
dealing with.
I see her taking her suitcase and walking down the driveway, which is odd because to get to this place, you need to have driven there. So I see her walking down the driveway, walking past the tree line, and as soon as she
Take nobody
walks
for
past the
granted.
tree
I'm telling you
line,
right now.
she
That's where
dips
you
off
at.
into the trees. This woman
Don't know the
is
person.
walking with
Watch
a
out.
small suitcase. She's walking with either a camera bag or something else, maybe a laptop bag.
Why not?
She has a hat on, and then she has clothing. I watch as this woman puts the bag down and stands, and everything that she was holding morphs into one thing. I cannot remember what that thing was. So all the external, I'm talking about clothes. Is it possible for all this stuff to morph into me? Of course not. These are all separate from me. Everything that she had, it was all her. She was some kind of matter that made woman, made a hat, a sun hat, made a camera bag, made a suitcase, and made herself. All of it just fused back into whatever she was, and then it was no longer there. I'm sitting here a solid form, and I'm telling you of the places that God takes me. I'm telling you of the things that God shows me. I'm telling you a reality that
Trying to warn you.
99.9%
It's like y'all trying to warn you.
of humanity, I don't care what university they think they've gone to, I don't care how many years they have in ministry, are not prepared for it. Because
So that's true. So that's true.
when the pedal goes to the metal, in every continent, when people around us start going, ugh, and stretching, finally free of what the Bible calls the restrainer. This is when Christians will no longer argue about who the restrainer was. You will automatically know that the restrainer is the person of the Holy Spirit that presses down upon these beings and keeps them locked in place. So that even the wickedness that they do, even some of the people that they abduct, the little people that go missing, it's kept to a very low number. When the restrainer stops restraining, why? Because 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verses 9 and 10, that the coming of the lawless one has been given his hour. His hour must come. And when he comes, he that restrains shall restrain no longer. That is when all the barnyard friends. This is when you're going to be sitting on your porch with 2 houses on either side of your apartment, sitting on your porch. He's going to be mowing the lawn and she's going to be watering flowers. And just like that, something will roll back over the world and your neighbor is going to go, oh, and you will think, what? Was that a wolf howl? And you'll try to look at the other neighbor to confirm, only to find her answering back, oh, oh, oh. That's what's going to happen. We're going to find a huge mass of us are not people. And they will come out just like that. And so it's no wonder that my heart is heavy. Because people have children out there. And this is not anything that anyone wants to hear. But we will have to hear it. As long as God thinks that I should hear it, I should see it, I'm going to be faithful to bring it out. And I will stop the video here. I am Celestial, and this is the Master's Voice. You can subscribe to the channel. Just click on
Shalom,
the
everybody.
channel's name. Please
It's a
note
wake-up call,
that
I'm telling you.
it's only my
Wake-up call. What you're dealing with now. Of course, the government not going to tell you. They've been dealing with these things now, like I said, since probably the 50s, I think. These chips been coming down. They got underground bases and everything. You know, matter of fact, in one case, they had, I think in the 60s, they had a confrontation with these things because they supposed to have been, you know, doing limited, basically taking people and basically experimenting on animals and human beings, okay? But in the human being, in most cases, they supposed to let go back. So in many cases, this situation went down, and you know, Area 51, they were down about 7 level or somewhere down in there. They had confrontation, and of course the humans lost. He had all these special forces there and everything else, and one guy he got out, the engineer for the military, he got out, but he lost like 3 or 4 of his fingers. He said some type of laser hit his hand, and he lost like 3 fingers off of him. So I can't think of his name now, but yeah, just been going on a while. So people believe they have created. They had actually got better with their technology, no doubt. Okay. America got technology. America got spaceships too, though. They got their own ships. You got the Forthright 88s. Their ships too, and they used it for many stuff also. So, yeah. But these other beings, man, you know, they got the grays. They got the large grays and the small grays and stuff. And then you got the reptilians. You know, I guess they're about the worst of all of them. I think the reptilians run the grays. So I understood it right from past. But all this stuff is coming at you, people. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, okay? Shalom, be blessed.